to the shop. We've got a fun little project here that I want to share with you, and I think it's going to turn out really nice once we get it all cleaned up. It's in good working order right now, but it needs a lot of help, some TLC as far as cleaning up and getting it so that it'll be displayable or be able to be put out for display. So let me bring you down here on the bench and let me show you what we're talking about. Here is our next project. It's a scale and weights. And we've got some weights here. It's incomplete, but you can see they need a lot of help cleaning them up. But I thought we'd clean up what we have here and take the time to clean up that scale. I think that is really cool. And so we have a variety of weights here that came with it. I don't know that they're actually what would have been with them, but these scales are really, really neat. A Fairbanks standard, and you can see they seem to work well. There's a balancing, there's a little wheel here that turns so that you can get this thing set just perfectly so it'll be perfectly balanced. You can tweak it. But this here is brass and the rest of this is cast, and I want to take this apart, clean up what we can, try to polish up some of these weights and get it into looking really nice and more of a display piece. All right, let's see if we can't get these things taken apart. Let's see what we end up with here. Be very careful. It's a very heavy duty piece, but they do, of course, it is very sensitive. It sounds like there's weights inside here. Probably some kind of a shot or something to keep both of these pieces weighing close to the same. Wow, that one came apart. See, I don't hear anything in there. I don't know. We'll see. All right, everybody, cross your fingers. This thing right here is all ceramic, and I do not want to break it. I see wear marks and, you know, what looks like cracks, but I don't see any big cracks. And I would really like to try to get it out of this metal bracket, which I think the metal bracket is squeezing. So I'm going to try something here. Cross your fingers. Maybe I'll try it over here and hope this works. I'm going to put pressure down here in the middle, pushing up on the prong, and then lightly pushing down on the ceramic, and I'm hoping that will help release. It's moving. Hey. Looks like it worked. Nice. Good deal. We have all these little brass pieces that I'm going to put here in the tumbler and let them run for a little while. This one here I went ahead and put back together again. I'll probably spread those before we start it and just let that tumble in one piece because I don't want to lose any of the little pieces. And so we have all these small pieces, but also I have all these little screws and that little spring. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and fill that with this medium, and that way it will be its own tumbler sitting inside of this tumbler, and we'll put a lid on it, and that should tumble those screws nicely. So let me put the camera down so I don't lose these screws, and I'll get this, come back to you in just a minute. So that'll go in there like that. Now I'll set the alarm on my clock on my phone for, I think I might go 2 hours, and we'll just turn this on and let it polish up. All right, guys, I just put this together and I want you to notice something. This here I've got to the center. I've got this all the way to the left, and you can see how it's not balanced properly. This side here needs to come down a little bit. When I took this apart, I didn't realize that there are these cones underneath here, and this cone had some shot in it, some BBs in it. They dropped out of that and fell on the floor, and I couldn't get them all. But don't worry, I've got some of those. So we have some shot here, and so what I want to do is I'm going to take these two little cups, put one here and one there. That should still be balanced, and we are going to calibrate this with the BBs, the shot, and we're going to stick these in there until it's absolutely perfectly balanced, and then we will dump that shot into that cone. Come on. Oops. Wow. Just about perfect. All right, I'm hoping you can see here, at least from right where I'm at, right dead smack in front of it. I've tried to put you there too. Those plates are perfectly level, and that little wire here in the middle is on the center mark. So we are perfectly balanced. Now we'll take that shot and put it into this cone. All right, the only place that these can come out are the side holes, so I can't tip it up right. If you hear that in there, so I'm going to take and tip this up, plug in that hole. We're going to drop these little BBs inside there, I hope. Okay, everything's in there. Put this back in there like that. The BB shouldn't come out. And we can thread this back in. Beautiful. All right, I tried several ways to try to clean these weights up, and I could not get anything to work until I got to these die grinders. I bought this stuff a while back and it did absolutely nothing. When I was buying this, they were trying to get me to buy a bunch of it. They had a whole bunch of shelves of it, and I sure am glad I did not. So we don't want that. I tried Brasso, and Brasso kind of took off that, I don't know what you call it, there's this reddish right here at the top. It's really deep, and it would not take that off. So anyways, that was really disappointing, those different ways of doing it, but I did finally find something that I think is going to work. And that is using a die grinder with this fiber wheel. This fiber wheel is gentle enough but aggressive enough to take off that outer layer, and then to follow it up with this lamb's wool wheel and putting on some of this. This is the finest rouge that I have to apply that. I shouldn't say it's the finest. I have some paste that I think has a really fine grit, but this here is a good rouge that you can put on there and apply and make this all shine up. So I think I'm gonna see here, I'm gonna see what matches. I think that matches, so I'll probably keep this, but the rest of these I do not have a full set, so we will clean up what we do have here and keep it in this box or this block, and we'll just have to live with that. Who knows if we ever come across the rest of the set. Hasn't that looked nice? I think that turned out wonderfully. So now I want to explain a little bit for those who may not know, and the rest of you, let's have some fun with this. One of my viewers, when I introduced this, getting it from the flea market, said that they always use tweezers when they were picking up weights. I'm not sure if that was to keep from corroding them. You saw how when I cleaned them up, they did change in weight just a little bit. So anyways, they that viewer suggested that I use, or at least the way it's supposed to be done is with tweezers. So anyways, I want to point out, you can see that this thing is perfectly level. The needle is right in the center. If that needs to be adjusted at all, there's this nut right here in the center. And that nut in the center can be adjusted, and it will calibrate this thing one way or the other. It might need to go just a little bit to the right. So I'm turning it so it'll move to the right. And then we should get that needle calibrated right on center. There. Looks like we're pretty good. That is perfect. So anyways, I took the time to clean these up, but this is not a complete set, and I found this little item here, which I'm going to do a video on one of these days. But I thought, let's weigh it and let's see how this thing works. So we'll put that on this side. And I did get with this a nice set of these weights here. And hopefully we'll be able to figure out the exact weight of that little hammer. So let's start with 50 grams. We'll stick that there in the center. That doesn't budget. Let's go to, let's try 10. Oh, that did something. That's too much. So let's take the 10 off and go to our 5. Put our 5. 5 didn't budget. Let's go to our 2. Oh, that's doing a little something, but we're not on center right there. So now we go down here. So we have 50, 5, 6, and 7. And then there's graduations of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So let's take and we'll move this over to the 1. Does that do what we need it to do? Looks like it's still not quite right. Let's take it here to the 2. That's too much. So let's go here to the halfway point. There we go. So we have 55, 57, 58 and a half grams is the exact weight of this little hammer. We did it there with that little scale. I think that really, really turned out nice. So that base is all cast iron. And then you can see the brass highlights, the porcelain plates there. These little plates here in front that hold it all together. And this little thing back here in the back, that's steel. And this pin, this needle here is also a steel. But it really seemed to pop once we painted it and got everything fixed up on it. It is something that we can display proudly, and I'm grateful we were able to pick it up. Well guys, that was a lot of fun, and I was very pleased with how this project turned out. I always just so much appreciate you guys coming by to visit me here in the shop. I thoroughly enjoy sharing this with you who I know appreciate all of these tools just as much as I do, and it's so much fun cleaning them up, giving them new life, and I just appreciate you guys coming by. I want to say, give a shout out to all the new subscribers. There's several of you that are coming along, and I appreciate you stopping by, and I hope you'll continue to encourage your friends and others to stop by the shop here and check out the channel and see if there's not something they'll enjoy as well. If you enjoyed this, please give us a thumbs up. If you know somebody else, please share the link with them so that they can come by. If you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and bell notification. I try to put out 2 videos a week, don't always get that done, but when we have a video, it'll notify you and you'll be able to come by and visit me here again. So guys, thanks so much. As always, here's to you. Have yourself a great day. God bless you.